All right, so this video is drilling a hole, how to use a screw, and how to properly insert that into the hole. First, you're gonna need the proper tools to do that. So what I am using is a Makita drill. As you can see, this is a drill. A drill has multiple settings. It has 2 gears typically. So for what we are going to do, we are going to take two 2x4s, and we are just going to connect them at a right angle, like so. So we are going to drill 2 holes right there. That's it for now. So that's why we have the drill. On this drill, there are 16 settings, as you can see, 16. And we will be pre-drilling, which is pre-drilling the hole so a screw can go in it. And pre-drilling is pretty much removing the wood where that screw is gonna go, because if you don't do that, there's a high chance that it will crack the wood or split the wood, and then it won't be flush, it won't be stable, it won't be strong. But if you remove that wood of where that screw is going, that screw will fit perfectly in that wood and won't create all this pressure, and that pressure is what causes the wood to split. So when it's going in, it'll split it like that. But if there's a hole and the screw goes perfectly in there, then it goes perfectly in there and it'll be flush. And flush is just lining up this. So this is straight up and down. That means it's flush. This is flush, and so on. We always recommend pre-drilling. That way, it's better. So this is a Makita. It's a high-end drill. It's very good. It's very nice. 16 settings. I have reviews on it. What we will be pre-drilling with is the Cobalt pre-drill. So as you can see, it gets bigger and bigger as it goes down. And down here, this is a pilot hole for the actual head of the screw. And that way, the head of the screw will be completely flush with the edge of the wood. And then you can paint right over it, put wood filler on it, and you won't even know the screw is there. And why it gets bigger, that's because the screw typically gets bigger. And as it goes down, it'll dig a better hole. It's not one solid size, and you aren't trying to push this huge thing, and it just slides in. It's a great pre-drill. Works really, really well. It's also adjustable, and if it falls off, then you put another one in. It's great. Another thing on a drill, so it's gonna have a battery. How you put on the battery is typically there's a button. You pop it off, you pull it, and there's this locking mechanism. You see that white part that goes up and down? That locks underneath into right there. So you slide it on, push down, lock it in, let go. And on the Makita, it has this little red mark. If you can see that, that means it's not locked in. It's locked in now. The battery life is also there and should be on the back of the battery. Most batteries nowadays, it will have a battery marking on the back of the battery pack. Next, if this thing is in the middle, that means the drill is locked. You cannot press the trigger. If it's all the way to the left side, which means you pushed it on the right side all the way to the left, it will go to the right. Meaning it'll go forward. If it's all the way on the right, like what I just did, you see how it's sticking all the way on the right side now? That means it'll turn left, see? And then I push it all the way in, it goes to the right. So if you're drilling a hole, you want it all the way to the left, so it'll drill forward, meaning the button is pushed all the way in on the right side. You can see it clearly labeled on every drill. It'll either be above it or below it for what side you need to press to go forward or reverse. So we're gonna wanna go forward. So this is with a drill. We're gonna line this up. You want it to be a right angle. So you can either estimate and just line it up flush and flush on top and go for it. But that's kind of risky. I like to use clamps in a square. This is a square. It'll give you a perfect right angle. See that? That's a perfect right angle. This is a clamp. It's an easy grip clamp. All you have to do is squeeze the trigger and it tightens. So for this, how we're gonna do it is we're gonna slide it off the platform slightly so I can get that clamp on top and on bottom, like so. And we're gonna tighten it, not super, super tight, but just tight enough that we can still move it, but it's holding onto the wood really good. Then we will line up this side of the two pieces of wood to make sure they are flush, so they are lined up properly. Then we are going to squeeze the trigger, all right? Make it a little bit tighter, so it makes it tougher to move the wood. Then we will get the right, or the square. We'll line it up. We're gonna put it on the inside of this corner, okay? Take the square, put the square in the corner like that, push down, make sure it's all lined up. Then we're gonna tighten the clamp even more. Make sure it's really tight so it doesn't move when you're drilling a hole. You're gonna grab it, you're gonna take the drill, you're gonna go straight in through both pieces of wood, and I'll show that. So we're gonna go in straight through both pieces, right there. All right, then we're gonna keep going. We're gonna create the little top hole for the screw. As you can see, right there, how there's that little bit of a bigger hole right there, and that's for the screw head, so it lines up completely flush. So now we're gonna put a screw in there. These are 3-inch star bits. We are going to use the Makita impact driver to put them in. A drill and an impact driver have the exact same controls, exact same battery thing. It's just the way it is. An impact driver smacks. Once it feels resistance, it'll start hitting, and that's what pushes it in even further, and it'll make it flush. So we're gonna take our screw, we're gonna put it on the head, like so. We're gonna put it in the hole, and we're gonna go very easy, very easy. Okay, so it's in there perfect. So you see how the screw is completely flush with the wood, and that is caused by that pilot hole that we made. And I put it in just till it's flush. That's the way I prefer it, so you don't splinter the wood. It's really tight. Still, it looks great. It works great. Show business, if it looks great, it is great. All right. Then we're gonna do the exact same thing with take the drill. I'm gonna take another screw, grab the impact driver, put the screw on the bit, put it in the hole. That one went in a little too deep, but it happens. Release the clamp if you have to. So, as you can see, on the inside here, right there, there's a gap. So what you're gonna have to do is grab it, pull it in really tight, and then drill a little bit. And then see, no gap now. It's very solid. That's just from 2 screws. See, it's a right angle. Perfectly fine. See how this just goes there. It's all good. Simple way to make it. Also, you want to learn the placement of where to put your pilot holes in your screws. So if you're gonna do a 2x4, I always do it about 1/4 of an inch, and then about 1 inch in between, and then another 1/4 of an inch or so. 2 will do fine. You want to make sure they're in the middle of this piece. So the actual screw itself is going to about like right here. And you want to make sure there's no gap here or on the inside, because you want them tight together, because that's what's holding them together. That's just a quick little education seminar on how to screw properly. That's a the pros do it like me. Everybody does things a little bit differently, okay? Everybody's gonna have a little bit different equipment, different drills, different screws they use, but the basics of lining it up, making sure everything's tight and sturdy is gonna be the same. If somebody is screwing or putting something together and it's loose, if there's a gap, let them know how to do it right. All right, I'll see you in the next one, dummies. I meant like this video's for dummies. I didn't. That sounded bad. I'll see you in the next one if you need educational help with tools and building. Bye. Sorry if I offended you.